let's try this again. Tell me if you can hear me. If you're tuned in right now, can you hear my voice? I might have to yell a bit, but if this works, it works. Live now, it says. All right. Oh, thank you. Okay, so I can see myself now. I'm watching myself on a different YouTube account. I'll just mute myself there. Okay, I tried using my better phone, which has a way better camera. I have two phones, but there's a problem with the microphone on that phone. It's intermittent. Sometimes it doesn't work for phone calls either. It's a real pain in the butt. So I'm down at the beach right now running off my cell phone data connection, so I'm not going to be here for too long. And it's a really rainy day, kind of gloomy, and I have the fire on just to kind of make it dry. It's actually pretty warm, so I have the window open, but it's really nice to just have that really dry feeling on a wet, soggy day, so pretty nice. Quality sound, really. It's a really crappy, cheap phone, but I'm glad it's working, everyone. Hey, Jim Moore from Florida. Awesome, man. I don't do live streams too much just because of data costs. However, with my current provider, I do have an opportunity to use unlimited data for up to an hour a few times a month. So it's not bad. When I'm surprised I'm getting a signal. I'm down at the end of the beach here in Vancouver, Spanish Banks, so I'm pretty far away from a cell phone tower, actually. So, all right. I'm in a van. Right now I'm sitting on the left side of the van from your perspective, but when I'm driving, I'm on the left side of the van too, over there. But see, now I'm over on my right. Now I'm in the center. But that's not what I'm talking about. I mean politics, obviously. And the reason I'm asking you guys what you think the majority of van dwellers are is in my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion. Now everybody has their own circle of friends, and they tend to hang out and socialize with people that have the same political beliefs that they do to reinforce their own beliefs. And I know I'm guilty of that too. But one thing I noticed is that in many of the RV van dweller groups on Facebook, some of them have tens of thousands of members, lots of great discussions, is that once in a while, somebody will post a picture of their barbecued steak dinner or of their firearms. And inevitably, 4 or 5 very loud people always jump in and get very upset that people are eating meat or that they own guns. And then it just becomes a shit show. And the threads go for hundreds and hundreds of comments, and there's a lot of personal attacks going on between left and right, the political divide. And what I've noticed, though, and this, I'm not bullcrapping you at all, is that from what I can tell, at least 70 or 80% of the people in all of these van dwelling groups own guns or eat meat or lean to the right. There's this perception that van dwellers are a bunch of left-wing vegan hippies, but I think that those are just the vocal ones. Because in my opinion, living this lifestyle is closely related to personal liberty, personal freedom, a hands-off approach, as in less government, more freedom. And that's very much a right-wing, or at least center-right mentality. It's, I would say, more libertarian, which is what I consider myself. Now, I believe we need military, we need police, we need all these things, but I still believe that the less government we have, the better. And I've always believed that way. I think you all know that, all my long-term viewers out there. But it's amazing how loud the very small group of anti-gun, anti-meat, whatever, the very, I hate to say it, but alt-left group living in their vans, they're usually very hypocritical, first of all, but they get so upset that other people could possibly live in a van too and like to own guns at the same time, or like to cook steaks for dinner in their vans. They get almost offended by it, and then they start preaching to us about how we should live, and we should live like they do. And anyways, it just drives me up the wall, obviously. You've seen my videos on this stuff. But I don't think the extreme left, vegan, yoga, gluten-free type, I don't think that's the majority of van dwellers. I think that it's actually a minority, but that's just my opinion. I'd like to know where you guys are. So I'm going to take a look at your comments here. Stay out of Starbucks. Actually, I have my Mick Cafe. Oh, yeah. Do you guys have the Super Chat button on there? See if anyone wants to pin a comment on my comments there. All right. Hey, Kenneth, what's up, Phoenix boy? So yeah, it's pouring rain here. Speaking of the States, a lot of those groups on Facebook, there's people posting pictures of their vans covered in snow and ice for the last week. I don't know where they are, but they're all in the States. And here I am looking out at the rain going, at least I don't got to shovel this. We tree. Free spirits and support Constitution. Yeah. Everyone loves sticks and guns, right? Driving home. Can only speak for me, but I'm far right. Cool. I'm just interested in to see, like, if you're living in an RV or you're living in a van, what side of the political spectrum are you on? Look, I invite everyone who wants to watch my channel to watch my channel. And I love having discussions and differing opinions. One thing I don't do is I don't throw personal insults at people that disagree with me. I don't block them. But that's something that I've noticed the left always wants to do. They like to throw out names, and then they like to block and censor people. I don't get it. Kimba, I'm veggie, vegan, very progressive, beyond liberal. I don't have a gun, but I do have a French rolling pin that I use for protection. Air quotes. Kimba, thanks for watching. Welcome to my channel. Again, I love the fact that there's actually a variety here. That's cool. And I believe that you can live however you want to live. If you want to be a vegan, that's fantastic. Good for you. If you don't want to buy a gun, don't buy a gun. The only time I draw the line is when you start telling me how I should eat and telling me that I shouldn't own a gun. I don't think that's any of your business. Right as might. Solera, thank you. So you see the button there. Super Chat is active. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Everyone's telling me that they've got that now, and I've never tried it, so... Jim Cuts Hall. Love my guns and my beef. Massachusetts had snow last week. Alec. Massachusetts, yeah, and I saw some in Minnesota, I believe, too. And this guy posted a picture of his passenger window in his van. He rolled his window down, but there was a second layer there. It looked like a second piece of glass, but it was just ice. Aaron, I'm a right-winger. Solera, I live in an RV. I am apolitical, not left, not right, but I'm into truth, which people usually interpret as further right than left. Yeah, that's an opinion, and I kind of agree with that in some ways for sure. Bert Hulbert, when you're burning a wood stove in your RV, you truly are a big winner. Charlie Sheen taught me how to win. Nana Pam, hello from Florida. We love our guns here. I know you do. Actually, I saw some great video of school students in Florida who were walking out of school to rally for gun rights, to protect your Second Amendment. And I thought that was awesome. It barely gets any coverage on CNN and all those sources, but there's a lot of kids out there that are not happy with the David Hoggs of the world right now. And freedom, absolutely freedom. You know, Scamper Camper, independent, I see faults and benefits to both sides. Honestly, me too. I do see a lot of faults and benefits to both sides. I am, like I said, a hands-off, I'm a less government type of person. I believe we need to have government, but it really should be by the people, for the people, and I don't believe there should be mob mentality. If mob mentality actually ruled, we wouldn't have bike lanes all over Vancouver, because the vast majority of citizens don't want them. That's you know, but that's one reason. That's one way of saying that mob mentality would actually, like, or a democracy, you could say. If the majority wants something, do it. But then again, if the majority doesn't want you to have a right, do you really think that they should take away that right? I don't believe that at all. I believe even if one person exercises a right, even if there was only one gun owner in all of North America, that doesn't give everyone else the right to take that one right away from you. Even if you're the last person on earth that owns a gun, it's still your right. Stephen Bates, I'm a libertarian, I like guns. Yeah, cool. Guns are fun, man. It's fun to put holes in paper at the range. Joe and Duke, MAGA. Now it's MCGA. Or make Trudeau a drama teacher again. Where's my hat? I gotta get my hat out for this. Oh, tell me I didn't lose it. La 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 la. All right. I found it. Okay. I found it. Remember? Yeah, baby. 911 Lex Vegas, would you ever leave Canada? Why? I mean, I'm very happy here in BC because I've got everything I need within 1 hour in any direction. I can go skiing, I can go sailboating, I can go sit on a beach, or I can be downtown, I can be on a lake, be hiking in the mountains, and I can literally do it all before or after work. So it's a beautiful place to live, and I don't have a travel bug so much, so I like going on road trips to do something, say like music festivals or whatever, but I don't have any desire to drive to another place just to sit on a beach and take pictures. But that's just me. Yeah, this hat's pretty popular. They actually sell this hat at one of the local gun ranges as well. I think that's just awesome. Does Canada have anything like Social Security in the USA? I've heard that term before. I think by Social Security you mean like welfare, right? Of course. And there's a lot of people that unfortunately make a living sitting on their ass at home in their subsidized apartments on welfare while the rest of us work. That's interesting. Now let's talk about that. Socialism. There's this misconception, which I only hear from mostly people in the States, that Canada's a socialist country. Canada's very free market and capitalist as well. We have some things like socialized healthcare and all that, but it ain't free. Our taxes are through the roof, and here in BC, everyone pays an MSP. That's a medical services premium. It's a monthly bill for medical care, whether you use it or not. It's like car insurance. Actually, it's not that much cheaper than my car insurance is every month either. So there ain't nothing free. And I believe that, we need certain services, but I think that there's a limit, and we need to, when government gets too big, it just takes more and more and more of our freedoms, and that sucks. Social Security is not the same as welfare. What are you talking about then? Are you talking about like retirement, or, I mean, you just use different terms down there. Josh Moore, and I live in a fifth wheel, and I'm a libertarian. Rock on, buddy. Yeah, man. That's a good name. Just wanted to say hi. You're awesome, dude. I got a lot of respect for you. Thanks, man. I'm just sitting in my van at the beach, so if that garners respect somehow, hey, I'll take it. 911 Lex Vegas, what if they made van dwelling illegal? Well, I mean, how exactly? To sit in your vehicle? Like, it technically is illegal in most cities, in major cities. There has been bylaws and ordinances against doing this since the 1950s. It's all about whether they enforce it or not, and most cities won't even go there. So instead they go after you with other things like parking time limits and length restrictions and things like that. But they can't say, oh, you can't buy a van and have a nap in it. This isn't North Korea. Progressives want freedom too. It's not just a conservative thing. Kimba, that's interesting, but what I see is a lot of progressives, I don't even like that term. I call them regressive in many ways because they want to go back and take away a lot of our rights. They want freedom, But if they don't agree with other people's freedom, they want to control the hell out of it. And it drives me up the wall. And most of it's irrational. Like the ones that want to come and take our guns because they're afraid of their fellow citizens having guns. It doesn't make any sense at all. You're more likely to be saved by your neighbor that has a gun than ever killed by it. So you should be wanting people to have them. But then these progressives are rallying around trying to take away our rights so they feel safer. But it won't make anyone safer. Look at London. Man, they got more crime than more murders than New York. And they banned guns. We tree bonsai. God-given rights are not open to taking away those rights. Now, okay, I'm not religious. That's one way that I differ from a lot of hardcore right-wingers, is I'm not religious. I'm pro-choice. And I'm socially and I'd say sexually liberal. I love girls with tattoos, you know that. But I would say human rights, inalienable human rights, such as self-defense, absolutely no government has a right to restrict that. And that brings me to a point of the firearm rights again, is a lot of people in the U.S. like to harp about the Second Amendment and your amendments down there, but your right to bear arms never came from the amendments. It was there before you had amendments. Same with Canada. The right to arms comes from the Magna Carta, which both of our countries are founded on. That right is there regardless of whether you throw away all your amendments. The only thing that matters is, does your government respect those rights? Does it recognize those ancient inalienable rights? We all have a right to self-defense. I don't care what any government says. Mayhem RV, should I miss the start of stream? Just wait till it's over and you'll be able to replay it. Alec McGill, what's the Canadian government's opinion on guns? Well, it depends. I mean, you can't generalize like that. It's like saying, what's the U.S. government's opinion on guns? It would vary between senator to governor, you know, everyone. If you mean the government as a whole, it's very, very varied. For the most part, pretty respectful, though. Like, it's a lot easier and a lot less restrictive to buy guns anywhere in Canada than it is in a lot of U.S. cities nowadays, and states by that. You guys need to rein it in down there. After the Florida thing, you've got so many cities down there passing insane laws which make Canada look like the easiest place in the world to get guns. So I really am not happy with what I'm seeing when I read the American news and seeing all these knee-jerk reactions to a non-problem. Tim Hortons or McDonald's coffee? Aiden, well, right now, McDonald's, but the rumor has been for the last few years that the McDonald's beat Tim Hortons, I believe, for the nation's favorite coffee now. And the rumor is the McDonald's is actually using Tim Hortons' old roast. What Tim Hortons used to use is now McDonald's coffee, so that's why everyone likes McDonald's now. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's definitely a big internet rumor. Nicholas, your comment about your Illinois ban there, I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. Kimba, you and I should have a political van-dwelling conversation one day, or someday. I think people would find the two extremes are not really that far apart. And Kimba, I would love to. I love it when people want to have a discussion and actually listen to the other person's concerns. And it needs to go both ways. It's very hard to find people who don't just, nah, I don't want to hear you, you're an idiot, block, you know what I mean? They don't want to discuss it because they're so entrenched in their ways. It's like religion to them. So, yeah, I'd love to have open discussions, absolutely. You know, every time I put up a video on these types of, Nicholas Wise, Justin, breed lots of babies, fight the liberals with your sperm. See, they call me just incredible because I pull out just in time, just in case. I don't want kids. DJ Vendetta, I'll debate any day. Yeah, I love to have people that actually want to debate instead of just throwing out their crap. You know, it's so hard to debate with the gun people, the anti-gun peoples, because they keep throwing things that are completely untrue in your face to try to have a discussion. Like, well, all I want to do is ban semi-automatics. Well, then you're going to ban everyone's guns, because that's 90% of everyone's guns. Well, let's just ban the AR-15. But what about all the other guns that are more powerful than an AR? An AR-15 is a low-power rabbit gun. You guys don't know what you're talking about, so how can we possibly have an open discussion about this when you're clueless? DJ Vandana, real right-winger pro-gun Canadian here. Bourbon and Bullets, nice YouTube channel name. And fellow Canuck, right on. I'll try to remember to subscribe to your channel after if I haven't already. Who doesn't love donuts? I don't know. If you're going to eat something that's round and it has a hole in the middle, it better be a donut. I mean, bagels are for the bagels are for the left-wing hippies. The donuts are for real people. Come on. Just kidding. Just kidding, everyone. Tim Hortons donuts are garbage, though. They're frozen. Solera, I think we'd all be safer if every adult were trained and carried. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't understand why people would be upset with or worried about citizens being armed and trained. If you ever go out to all the people that are afraid of guns have never held one, just go to your local range. Go have some fun and learn something, and you'll see that the vast majority of people there are your neighbors, your lawyers, your doctors, your friends and family. And most of them are more proficient and safer with firearms than the vast majority of police officers are. Police, for the most part, there are exceptions, only have to have a gun because it's in their job description, not because they actually enjoy marksmanship and enjoy shooting, target shooting. People that buy their own firearms and spend thousands of dollars on firearms like I have, and ammo, and getting trained and getting my license, obviously it's a hobby for me, so it's something I want to learn and perfect. Whereas the average cop, they have to have one. It's just part of their job. I would much more trust the people who actually go and do it every weekend at the range because they enjoy it, as opposed to the police officer who just gets his minimum training to put on a badge. Now, that's not to say a lot of cops aren't really good with their guns. I've met a lot of them at the range who go there on free time to do target shooting. And they're firearms enthusiasts just like I am. And that's great to see. But that's not every cop. And you know, it's funny because we're talking about this whole right wing is very much into the guns and the freedom. That video I did a few weeks ago about the gun grabbers, that thing has exploded. I think it's up to like 30 or 35,000 views or something like that. And I'm getting tons of new subscribers on my channel. You guys ever use Social Blade to check YouTube earnings and how other channels are doing and all that? I know a lot of people talk about it, but it's usually really wrong, at least for me. It's always been very undervalued. I usually make more than they say I'm making. I usually getting more subscribers than this thing. I checked it 2 days ago. It said that I should have, 33,500 subscribers or something like that by June or July of this year. But in reality, I'll have that many subscribers like today or tomorrow. So it's going up a lot faster than Social Blade believes it is. Okay. Sorry, guys and gals. I just went and checked my phone, and it was like I wasn't even online. The YouTube app wasn't even open. So I don't know. Yes, it's the Russians hacking me. Oh, man. Hang on, I'm just going to switch to my other account so I can once again see all of your comments easily. How many of you are actually in your vans right now watching me? I'd love to know. Okay. There we go. So apparently when you turn the YouTube app back on, it switches the camera as well. Mayhem RV. A van is an RV. If it's camperized, an RV is an RV. So yes. That's what I mean, by the way, when I say van. That's one form of RV. RV dwellers. Nicholas, it's freezing where I live, so I'm inside a nice house. No way to heat van yet. Is it a homemade van? It doesn't have a furnace or something? Doug McKay, don't tell me you're one of the 7 people out of 40,000 that fell for that video. Did you not check the date on it? Nicholas, no. This should be a CNN scandal. Yeah, changing spark plug on a Astro. From what I heard from a mechanic friend of mine, is basically an Astro van it's a shrunk down version of a Chevy full-size van, obviously, but that the engine is very similar to the V8 Chevy engines. They basically just chopped off 2 cylinders. But it's very similar. That's one thing I like about the Dodge, though, is that I can, on a day like this, I can open my doghouse up and change all my spark plugs while I'm drinking a coffee and never even go outside. It's awesome. Aaron, you're on your couch, but is your couch in an RV? Oh, Doug, I feel sorry for you. I almost want to send you a sticker. Just because you actually fell for that. How's the wood stove doing there? Oh, some nice hot coals. Nice and warm. Yeah, I love the Dodge because the vans are the same every year. They were the same for 32 years. They didn't change anything on them except the grill, and the headlights, and the taillights. Aaron, at least you're looking at your RV. That's awesome. By the way, just in case you guys are wondering, if you're on my Facebook page or my Instagram, you would have seen that offer I got a week ago. I'm not doing it. I'm not selling my van. I love this van way too much. It's my favorite of all the vans I've had so far. Of course, every van I buy, I'm going to say that, but I love this thing. So yeah, I mean, there's exceptions to every rule, like what we were talking about. Oh, Nicholas, awesome. So you got a Dodge because of me. If it breaks down, don't blame me. Just be thankful parts are about 1/10 the price of a Sprinter if you had to get parts for it. Yeah, what we're talking about is the left versus right with the van dwellers. Is there's a lot of the a lot of the, especially the women, they drive around in they all look the same. The vans all look the same. They usually buy a high roof Euro van. They put a big bed up at the back with storage underneath. They all have the exact same floor plan with wooden ceiling and little puck lights down the middle of the ceiling. Like, they all copy each other exactly. And then they have storage underneath for their bicycles and their yoga mats. And then they run around. Some of them are funny. They'll spend like $60,000, $70,000 on these vans and they don't even have a shower in them. But anyways, that's a whole nother subject. I think it's awesome. You live in whatever van you want. If it works for you, it works for you. But there's a lot of them that are very, very, very left. And in my mind, if so-called progressives and socialism and big government really went that route, we would be so overregulated, we wouldn't even be allowed to drive these vans, let alone live in them. Because it's not for the greater good. We should all be herded into cities, living in little concrete cubes, taking buses everywhere and riding bicycles. And that's just the way I see progressivism going that way. Whereas me, I'm totally the other way around. I think we need to spread out. I think everyone should go out and get a piece of land if they want, way out in the country. Everyone should be able to drive what they want. You should be able to buy guns if you want. You should be able to eat what you want. And I think the government should get the hell out of it. I think that's why in Europe, Brexit just happened, or it's about to happen, right? Is people were just getting sick and tired of over-regulated everything. Every aspect of their life is just so over-regulated over there. What did I read somewhere? There's something like 600 regulations just for cabbage. Like, it's insane. Kimba, a lot of progressives do. You can say that's not what progressives want, but a lot of them do. Not all, just like not all conservatives want to have guns. There's always exceptions to every rule. But here, progressives here want to regulate everything, especially other people that live differently than they do. And that's where I have an issue. They're even trying to ban balloons here on this beach and in Vancouver parks. Balloons! It's unbelievable. And that's a very progressive government trying to do that, by the way. A permit? Since when do you need a permit to drill holes in a van? It's yours. You can do whatever you want. Christy, do you recommend any good website to try to find an explorer? Like my old, any Class B. It doesn't matter what kind you want. There's probably, you can count on two hands how many there are all over the continent. So you're going to have to just search all the websites like RV Trader. And like when I went to find the Islander, I only found two. One was in Montreal. One happened to be here in BC. So I got lucky. But every other time I tried to find an Islander, including when I went to get the Explorer before, I really wanted the Islander more than the Explorer, but I couldn't find a single one anywhere in North America. So when one pops up, you got to grab it, no matter where it is. Shams the Cat. Justin, could you make Angela M. an honorary Wham Bam Babe for all the trouble she's been through? I don't know who that is. These vans are very difficult to find anymore without forking out a lot of money. All Class Bs are. Because they can command a high price because they're not a dime a dozen. They're not like Class Cs and Class As, which are on every used car lot everywhere. Or at least RV lots. Class Bs, sometimes you'll only find one at an entire RV dealer. And they're very well built. They'll hold their value. They don't rot away, and they don't, they're not just put together with glue and sticks. So they hold their value, but they cost a lot brand new too. As you know, something like this van here, new, would easily be $120,000 or higher. Kundalini Kid. I think the right is headed towards centralized control too. And you know what? I think there's definitely factions in both sides of the camp that are, and I'm against that completely. That's where I really put myself as being libertarian. So I don't want full government control of everything. I think that individual liberty is more important than anything else. Yes, I know. All my old vans go back up for sale. I see them all the time. That's fine. Angela M is Nomadic Fanatics. Look, I don't know who this person is or who you're talking about. Honestly, I don't watch YouTube. I literally haven't watched anyone else's channels for probably 6 months. Except for when somebody, like a close friend on Facebook, sends me a message and says, you need to see this video about whatever. So I have no idea. I don't care about other people and their drama or whatever's going on. It doesn't interest me. Libertarian means something a lot different in California. What does it mean there? Boo drama. I'm gonna go up a bit, see what I missed. By the way, I support Brexit. We're talking about that. Absolutely, I support independence. Did you see the Czech Republic? They're fighting with the EU over all sorts of things. But one of the things they really are fighting against the EU is gun rights. They've written into their constitution firearm rights for citizens now. So that's awesome. Good for you, Czech Republic. Yes, Nicholas, Washington just declared a car someone's home legally. An RV is, even here in BC, it's the same thing. If your vehicle is registered as an RV, which this is, it's legally a residence. That does not mean it's legal to park it on city street where you don't own it. That's a different argument completely. This is my residence by law. But that doesn't mean I have a right to just go park it in someone's driveway or on a city street. That's for everyone. So that's a very different battle to fight there. Aaron, do you have a video of how you put in that wood stove? Yeah, I drilled a hole in the roof for the chimney and then cut the counter out and pulled the drawers out. I did a quick overview of it. If you search my channel a while back, it was, I don't remember, a couple months back when I moved the wood stove from the wall to the counter here. Bernie B. Residences have addresses, no? If you happen to live in one that's stationary and on a street and part of a district or city and has an address, it does. Otherwise, it doesn't. Do people that live in tree houses have an address? Do people that live on boats have an address? Keep on rocking the free world from North Carolina. What's up, Richard? Richard, I can barely see your thumbnail, but I can see it's a van. And just even from the small pixelated thumbnail, I can tell it's a Ford. I'm such a van geek. I can tell just from the size of a front window what brand it is. Nicholas, yeah, the Czechs, the Czech president, not the current Czech president, I think it was the previous Czech Republic president, also went and fought against Al Gore in the UN because he understands that the whole climate bullshit is a goddamn scam. So, man, Czech has got some awesome government. Bernie, if they're at a marina, they probably use the marina's head office as an address, but that doesn't, what happens when they untie? It's still a residence. Jaspel Gill, I'm shouting out to you. Okay, who here, who watching right now is a stoner or smokes pot? This is going to get interesting. Nicholas, you're going to move to Washington, all the California crazies already moved there. Uh-oh. I see some spinning on my screen, so yeah, the connection might not be good, but sorry about that. Kundalini Kid, you know what, just go to my website, justincredible.tv, click on the contact button there, and a form will come up, and just send me the link to your video, and I'll check it out later. Weed. I tried weed, didn't like it. Did you inhale? Can't smoke pot, I get drug tested at work. Now, okay, this is interesting because smoking weed right now. I don't smoke pot. A lot of people think that I must be a stoner because I live in my van. Like, you get that perception. Of course, I am in Vancouver, and Vancouver and the West Coast, I mean, this city is famous for being hippie central, especially in the area I'm right now, ever since the 50s when all the hippies and Volkswagens were all over this side of Vancouver. So they still have hippie days. It's a festival every year. And all the old Volkswagens come out. Anyway, so everybody thinks that that vibe still exists with the van people here. And I don't smoke it. My ex-girlfriend was a habitual stoner. Anyone that says it's not addictive, bullshit! She was more addicted to that than most people are addicted to crack, cocaine, or cigarettes. Anyways, I smoked it a couple times with her, just when she insisted. But every time it does the same thing to me. I either start to feel nauseous and not happy, or I just pass out. So I don't bother. Like, we're having our big 420 in a few days, where a few 100,000 people are going to take over downtown and have a big smoke fest. I'm not going to be anywhere near there because it's I don't care what they do, but it's going to be legal nationwide starting in July. So I mean, there's already ads running. The government's already putting ads on radio and TV about not driving under the influence, and it's not about alcohol anymore. It's about smoking weed and driving. And the RCMP is testing equipment to be able to do roadside stoner tests to see if you're stoned. When did I just get this magazine? My CAA membership card renewal, and or my BCAA magazine comes, you know, every month or quarter, whatever it is, from BCAA. Look at the front cover there. Riding high. They're already discussing the new legalization of weed and how it's going to affect our driving laws. Honestly, this is where I'm very libertarian. And the leader of the National Libertarian Party, Tim Moen, I mean, his slogan is fantastic. I know the Libertarian Party will probably never actually make it into power, and it's the same in the USA. But this is what he says. He says, I think that all gay Canadians should be able to protect their marijuana plants with their firearms. Right there in that sentence, that sums up me. If you want to smoke weed, good for you. If you want to have guns, good for you. If you want to be gay, good for you. It's your business, not the government's. So that's definitely me in a nutshell right there, is that entire statement. That's my outlook on personal freedom, liberties, and my politics, for sure. I don't get it. People are snorting condoms now after weed became legal. Yeah, that's weird, but weed is, you know what? The fact that weed becomes legal doesn't mean that suddenly people start smoking it. It just means they'll just keep doing what they're doing anyways. I lived in Jamaica, was high all day, every day. Obviously. That's a stereotype right there, isn't it? But you know what? All stereotypes have some nugget of truth in them. That's why stereotype exists, right? It's like generalizing. Every time I do a video about something, even if it's slightly controversial, or I label something or someone or a group, the exceptions to the rule always jump in. But I'm not like that, or they're not like that, or whatever. It doesn't make the rule invalid. Generalizations are generally true. Hence the word generalization. And if you're doing a YouTube channel and you're broadcasting to thousands of people, then you need to speak in general terms. You can't sit there and list off all the exceptions to the rule. But it's so funny how some people get uptight when they're like, well, not all liberals are against guns. I never said that. But generally speaking, I should go to Jamaica and blast country music, classic country, on an old boombox. That's right. You know what would be really great? I know you can do those chats where you get multiple boxes of viewers all chatting to each other. But it would be cool if I could even just hear your voices. Kind of like you're in a room. Although it'd be kind of hard when you've got dozens of people watching. But let's say there was like, you had a limit of 10 people and everybody's just talking like I am right now. And we could hear each other just having a discussion. Wouldn't even need to have all the cameras on. I don't know. I think it would just be cool. Yeah, I know Hangouts, but that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. I mean, just like right now, if I could just even hear you. I have a dominating radio voice. You would be drowned out. You want to bet? I've been on the radio many times. Watch my last video. Have you ever used Discord app, Justin? What is that? I don't even know. Ah, cool. Weed, don't legalize it, decriminalize it. Legalize government control. Yeah, I know. It's going to be, and already the potheads are getting upset. The fact that we're legalizing it, but these stoners thought that meant it was going to be a free-for-all, that you could just buy it anywhere, sell it anywhere, and walk down the street with it. Nope. It's going to be regulated like cigarettes. It's going to be taxed like cigarettes, and you're not going to be able to smoke it anywhere that you can't smoke a cigarette. You cannot stand at a bus stop and smoke a joint. You won't be able to stand within 6 meters of any doorway of any business and smoke a joint. You can't, I mean, they're apparently going to make it even more strict than cigarettes. The rumor is it's going to be like open alcohol, so you can't walk down the street with a joint either. So in some ways, it's going to be more strict than it already is, because right now the cops just turn a blind eye to that. So we'll see what happens. My first car was a van. Simple Man RV says. Well, unless you would consider two wheels a car, I had a scooter. That was my first, like, registered insured vehicle. But my first actual 4 wheels was a Dodge camper van. And it was a 1979 with a pop-top roof, and I moved into it. And I moved into it when I was 15. I had my learner's driver's... When I got my learner's driver's license, I learned how to drive on my own with that thing late at night, went out. And then I sold the van and thought... I was one of these idiots who thought, oh, look at that, I can get a big Winnebago for half the price of a camper van. And look at all that space. That's great. And I went and bought the damn thing. I'll never... I learned the hard way. Anyways, I lived in this big 26-foot Class A, and I went and took my driver's license test to get my full Class 5 license in the Winnebago. That was what I used as my test vehicle. They had to let me use it because it's a regular, you only need a regular license to drive one, so they had to let me use it. The law only says you have to bring a vehicle in operating condition with proper lights and all that, so I showed up in my Winnebago to take my test. The instructor got me to drive around the block, park in front of the motor vehicle branch, and said, "Turn off your engine, Justin." I said, "What did I do wrong?" I was so nervous. He smiled and said, "Look, man, if you showed up in this and you can drive this for your driver's test, I think you deserve a license. You've got no problem, man." And I got my full license. We didn't even have to go in traffic, didn't have to make lane changes, didn't have to parallel park. It took 5 minutes. And I was willing. I said, "You want me to parallel?" Because I could park that Winnebago like a Honda Civic into 2 parking spots just like that. He didn't even want to see it. And I got my full license, man. Those were the days. Anyways, I sold that thing and went back down to Class C. And I had quite a few Class C's over the year. And then back to Class B. And I'll never go back. I love Class B. How does this super chat work? I heard that somebody can basically use the super chat and your comment gets pinned so everyone sees it. I'm not even sure. It's been so long since I've done one of these. Buffering, yeah, I can't. I'm in an area where it's a really low signal, so. Nicholas, the 1973 gun ban destroyed Jamaica and exploded violence. All of the countries in the world, the gun ban there was the worst. Completely destroyed Jamaica. Sad. Nana Pam, everyone like the chat. Yeah! Keep on liking in the free world. Justin, buy a VR or build one, starting VR life with the wife in a year or two. VR means virtual reality, and if you're going to start doing VR with your wife, that's going to be hot. You're going to sell that on Pornhub, I guess. I think you meant RV, not VR. Buy. I always buy and then modify. And I'm not into starting from scratch, having to do all the wiring, plumbing, and propane, and then having to get it all inspected, certified, to get it properly registered and insured as an RV. That is a hassle. I will buy a homemade one if that stuff is already done, and then I can just go and finish the interior the way I want. But no, I'm not going to start from scratch. That's why I like to buy RVs and just change them to the way I want them to be and make them livable. Nicholas, you're dying. Why are you dying? Don't die, man. Anyways, I really want to say to all my viewers, Bussy McBussface. I love the name. I love it. You know, BC Ferries here, we got some new ferries recently, and they wanted the public's help to name them. They ended up getting some First Nations names on them, but I could have seen that come a mile away. But anyways, one of the most popular suggestion from the general public for the name of the first of the new ferries that we got, because they did a poll, and tens of thousands of people voted for Bodie McBoatface. And BC Ferries, they didn't make it happen. I think that would have been hilarious. Oh, Nicholas, sorry, man. Didn't mean to make you die. But I really want to say, though, even though there's some people watching that will have disagreements with me and different politics, the fact that you're still here right now and you're watching this, even if you violently disagree with me, you're still here. That means that I think that's all. You have some common sense and some brain cells, because you didn't just run away and plug your ears and try to block me because you have a disagreement with me. And I want to thank you for that. And that's why I'll listen to you and your opinions. I will definitely have a discussion with people any day about anything that I talk about. I think that's what free speech and democracy is all about. Absolutely. Now, what's interesting is when I did that video explaining to people that I used to be very left and that I switched to the right as I got older, it was kind of a test. I wanted to see what would happen with my channel and subscribers, and which ones would be offended by it, and then see if new people came aboard. And I checked my analytics after that video, and I lost around 128 subscribers, obviously all very left-wing, who have zero tolerance of differing opinions, so they just want to delete, block, and run away to their safe space where they can go to channels with people that have the same opinions they do. All right? Obvious, right? I think that's great. But guess what? The same day, at the same time I lost 128 subscribers, I gained 246. These are obviously they're people that think a little more like along my lines, or they're just interested in discussion and debate and seeing a different viewpoint. And if you're willing to watch someone else who has a different viewpoint, that means you have an open mind. And I think that is the best audience to have. And I would much rather have 100 people subscribing to my channel with an open mind than 30,000 people that are, you know, with closed minds. It's about quality, not quantity, in my opinion. So I just thought that was funny. I lost a whole bunch of people that were not tolerant of what I had to say, and then I gained even more on the same day. So it's almost like I was replacing my audience with people that are going to be much more active and engaged on my channel. So it was a good thing in the long run. Life Untethered RV. You gave me as a subscriber today. I appreciate the breath of fresh air you give. There you go. I just speak my mind and I don't hold back, and you can disagree, that's great, and I can disagree with you, that's great, but at the end of the day, if you were here, I'll crack a beer with you, high five you, and tell you to keep on rocking in the free world. I really think that that's the best politics to have here. No name calling, no trying to force other people to agree with you. Just speak your mind, nod your head, and you know what, maybe you'll start to change your opinion on some subjects. You never know. Mitch, am I a homosexual? Not unless girls start growing dicks. Apparently I hear they do though these days. That's really weird. I saw, what's that? I just see it about my video there. I subbed yesterday because of my gun grabbing video. Yeah. The gun grabbers say the darndest thing. Welcome aboard, straight Sith male. So this video is not all about guns. So if you subscribe to me because you saw that one video, just so you know, that's how I lean politically, but that's not what this whole channel is about. This channel is very varied. It's about my opinions on politics and events and things like that, but a large chunk of it is about my life in my van, my Class B RV. So again, I'm really talking to a huge audience here. I've got a lot of people that they join because they just think it's about van life, when it certainly isn't. And then they've got other ones that join because of they saw my video about guns, or they saw my videos at a music festival, or whatever. So I kind of just put out all sorts of content. This is just generally a vlog of me and my life. And I just happen to live in my van, so naturally there's going to be a lot of discussion about that too. Love the woods. Just bought a 2003 Dodge Ram van. Building it out now. 39,000 miles. Chicago. What's up, Chicago? Congratulations on your van. That's awesome. Solera. I was already subscribed, but I definitely started watching more regularly when you made the gun grabber vid. It's nice to see people doing the van life that have similar views to me. By the way, if you're not subscribed, click that button and make sure you click that you want to be notified when I do put out videos. It is amazing how many people who have been on my channel for months and sometimes years who comment on a video that they just saw, even though I uploaded it 4 or 5 months ago. It's because they didn't get that notification. So make sure you subscribe and click and all that. I mean, if you don't want to see it, you can usually tell by the title whether you're going to be interested in the video or not. If not, just swipe it away. You know, that's the best way to do it, guys. It's something that a lot of people don't know, is that you have to click that button or you won't get notified a lot of the time. Richard has a 1995 Dodge Explorer thanks to you. Fuck, awesome, dude. AJ Treg, is Flying Wedge Pizza still in Vancouver by Kits Beach? Yeah, I believe that location's still there. They have quite a few locations. I don't like it that much. It's overpriced hipster pizza. It's like $4 or $5 a slice. You can get raisins on, like, who the hell wants raisins on pizza? I prefer good old pepperoni, Hawaiian, or something like that. I'm just joking, man. I'm not into that whole, like, fancy stuff. I'd rather go to Panago or Pizza Hut, to be honest. PNW Survival. I'm looking to live and work between the Nanaimo and Campbell River. Oh, hang on. Hey, I just found out about you a couple days ago. I'm moving to Vancouver Island this week. Wanting to know what the best place is to stealth live in my minivan. There's no such thing as stealth. I've done videos on this. My van is stealth, and it's big and purple. Stealth, again, you can be in the middle of a crowd. As long as you don't stand out in a bad way, you're stealth. So don't be obvious. If you've got a minivan and people can see crap in your windows and you just leave it there for days on end, that's not stealth. But if your vehicle looks nice, don't worry about it. And the city's big, man. I don't know. You're moving here, I mean, for how long? Like, again, I preach on this channel, make sure you move every single day. So find a place to sleep one night, then move the next night, then move the next night. I've got about 20 places I rotate to. Every 2 weeks or so, I'm in at least 10, 11 different places. But I have about 20 total places I rotate around. And quite often, I just go find a totally new place. So, again, that's just be respectful. Don't squat in front of houses. Don't take up business parking. And be mindful of time limits and parking restrictions. But you can literally park almost anywhere as long as you follow that rule. Make sure you don't stay every night in the same place. Yeah, Billy, I know we send a lot of coal overseas. Vancouver's the biggest coal exporter in North America. Got 117 people watching. Oh, yeah. Aaron, are you into craft beer? I bet you this is going to be a joke, right? That's a hipster thing, too. To me, beer is beer. I do like some craft, but a lot of it's owned by the big conglomerates, too. Like in Vancouver, we've got so many craft beer places. They all have independent shops. They all brand themselves as being independent. But a huge chunk of them are owned by Molson, Labatt's, and all that. They're just rebranding. It's quite funny. I also have a hard time spending the higher prices a lot of the time. I mean, I can afford it, but I can't tell that much of a difference between a lot of the craft beer and a lot of the generic, like Molson Canadians. Yes, there are some I can definitely tell the difference, but it's not a hobby of mine, if that's what you're asking. Gabriel, I've been unsubbed from your channel before. Cool. You just automatically got unsubbed? That's a YouTube thing. A lot of people have done that. They said that. They said one day they went to check and they noticed they weren't subbed anymore, but they never unsubscribed. So I don't know what that's all about. I don't really care. YouTube, by the way, doesn't pay people for subs. I could have one subscriber and make just as much money as 30,000. It's all about other things. Views, retentions, subject matter. There's so many other factors. Subscribers are meaningless. That being said, if you want to actually keep up with the new videos, that's how you personally do it. Make sure you click that button. So this guy talks and thinks like Trump, probably loves Harper. Well, dude, Harper's about 10,000 times better than Trudeau. Trudeau needs to become a teacher again. Doug McKay, going back the RV discussion, I was asking about ambulance type 3. I don't know what you mean by type 3. I forget what the types are of those. I've had two ambulances. One was a vanbulance. It was a Dodge Ram van, converted government ambulance. And the other one was a box type, a Ford. But again, I didn't convert them to live in. I converted them for promotion vehicles. So again, I wasn't doing propane or water. And again, if I find one with propane and water and everything done, I might take a look at it, but I'm not going down that route. I want something that's already registered and legally as a motorhome, already has propane certification, already inspected, everything is done good. Then I will start ripping stuff up and making it mine. Josh Morris, how do you cook? Love that vid, LOL. Yeah, I remember that. I'm getting a lot of views on that video lately, and it's an old one, so somebody must be sharing it somewhere. AJ, when are you installing the hot tub on the roof? Nah. It's a pretty strong roof. That would be a great idea. Master of Reality, I know you love your area, but do you ever travel to the States? No. I haven't been over the border since before 9/11. So that was when you could go over the border without a passport. I was going to get a passport just for the reason of going over to fill my gas tank once in a while whenever I'm near White Rock, which is by the border. It's worth it to go over for cheaper gas, but it turns out that most of the Washington State gas over there is coming from Alberta, the same pipeline that feeds Vancouver. So if our prices go up, which they may if Alberta hits us, it's going to go up over the border as well. It'll still be cheaper, but Trudeau is a goof, damn right. Did you see that picture of him in Peru today? Go to my Instagram, instagram.com/JCredTV, JCRED-TV, or my Facebook page with the same address. And you'll see the picture I posted of Trudeau leaving Peru on the jet. He's going up to the big government jet. He stands up on the stairs and he waves to the tarmac, just like every other picture of a prime minister or a president getting on the plane, right? Here's the thing. There was no one on the tarmac. It was empty. He was doing it just for a photo op. It was the most hilarious thing of it, but he's an idiot. Yeah, $3 a gallon. Somebody was showing me conversion there because I don't understand what gallon means. But it's $1.50 for a liter this morning in Vancouver. So that's around $5 a gallon US. There you go. And you get used to it after a while. So it'll happen to you one day. Still, it's nothing compared to rent and utility bills. I really don't care if gas was $4 a liter, $10 a gallon. It's still cheaper. Bussy McBusface, yeah, you're building a bus right now, hard to stealth camp. Again, watch my video on stealth. You can have a giant Winnebago that says RV on the side and had a big sign on the door that says I live in it, and it can be completely stealth, even more stealth than the guy in the little white plumber's van. Go watch my video on that. That's such a weird, and it's such an uninformed term. Everyone thinks they need to be invisible, when in fact, the best way to be invisible is to make people like your rig. Blue, what's the funniest thing you saw on the road? Oh boy, that's a good question. That's a question that should go on my RV Life website. Do that, so I can think about it, and I'll try to think back and try to remember what it is. All of you that have a real question like that and you want me to make a video to respond to you, a direct video, go to www.rv.life. It's the easiest URL to ever remember. Just go there when you have a question about living in an RV, especially when it comes to living in an urban environment like I do. Hanging by the beach. Have you ever thought about buying land for a home base? Maybe one day. I don't find it necessary though, to be honest, because I don't want to have one place. I like to move around all the time. But you never know. Life Untethered RV. What's the length of your current van? I'm in a 21-foot RV with my husband and cat, but we'd like a van. Wondering if 18-foot is doable and still comfortable. Oh yeah, I've seen couples with animals in Volkswagen Westphalias. But this RV, my current RV, is just under 21 feet. It's actually just shy by a couple centimeters. So it's considered 21 feet. Sorry, 20 feet. Got that wrong. My old Dodge Explorer was 21. This is 20 feet. I took the measuring tape out with it, and that includes the spare tire on the back. It's just perfect because the average parking space, legal size for parking space, is about 20 feet, 6.4 meters. And most cities design parking spaces to be that long. So if you're any longer than that, you're going to have problems. Basically, if it's longer than a quad cab pickup truck, then you're going to have issues parking in the city. Jillian, you saw a couple guys getting BJs in the parking lot of Walmart. That's the strangest thing I've seen. Jesus. And you drove away, I hope. Where was that Walmart mayhem? RV says. Ugh. Aaron, Justin, how do you get so many women? Go look at my video a couple days ago. Hey, Justin, my van's purple. AJ Treg, are you still in touch with Jessica? Is she done with YouTube? Which Jessica? I know about 10 Jessicas, and 3 of them live in vans. So, hanging by the beach. I have a 1999 road trek with 17,000 miles. Love it because of you. Awesome. Everyone, man, it's amazing. It's like not a week goes by without somebody telling me that they've got this Class B and it's because of me. I don't know how I have this magic power. Go buy a van, move into it, and then a year later message me and say you love your life. That's what always happens. Rock on, everyone. I love you. I hope you come to CamperCon this year. I haven't got a date yet, but I'm going to do it. Right down here at this beach, by the way. And it'll be hot and sunny then. Aaron Costello, Purple Haze. Kevin Cyrus, White Van, French. Oh, French. That would be French Jessica. Yeah, she's around town. Seriously, Road Trek or some company should reach out to you to make a deal. What kind of deal? What would you mean by that? Like, what do I want? I don't want another van. I certainly don't like the new vans. I don't want any of this crap. The only new one that I would possibly consider is if Pleasureway is still making the wide-body Pleasureways on the Ford E-Series E350 chassis. I don't want a Transit. I don't want a Sprinter. I certainly don't want an ugly ProMaster that looks like somebody hit it with an ugly stick. I want the North American design van, the big, tough truck-based van with the big V8 engine minimum. So I don't want any of this new stuff. I really don't. And I don't want everything to be too advanced, too electronic, too many touchscreens and computers, not just in the vehicle, but even in the RV. I like things, less tech, less problems, like I always preach about, right? You should help design road treks. But you see, Blue, all the people that say stuff like that, the RV market is not for guys like us, or girls like us, who do this lifestyle. That's why they're not built with wood stoves and things to last and all this stuff. The RV market is generally retired people with a life savings who want to buy an RV to drive to a trailer park and plug it in. That is 99% of the RV market, so that's who they build RVs for. And that's who they cater for. So when I get an RV, I have to change things to make it more comfortable for full-time living and upgrade some things and whatnot. But it would all cost too much. Why would the companies do that when most people don't live in their RVs? Let's be honest. Yes, Mopar 360, absolutely. I got a 360 as well. This is amazing. Playoff hockey and live J-Cred TV. Nice, nice. You must be Canadian. Nicholas, sorry, I missed that one. Hey, Justin, is your current van the B300? Yes, so it's a Ram 3500 one-ton. Life on the streets, 22 feet, too big for city. Yeah, it's a touch too big. It's also over the length bylaw for cities like Vancouver where you can get a ticket for being too long. And it's also a little too big for the average parking spot, so unless the person front and behind is leaving an awful lot of space, you're going to have to look for places where there's 2 spots to park your RV. And you can't park it, if you can't park in a single spot in an empty ball parking lot, and you have to drive over the line and take 2 spots, you're going to have issues, both legally and just for convenience sake in the cities. You should never have to park sideways to park an RV. You should be able to back into one spot and there's cars next to you. For doing what I'm doing. I'm not saying for when you're out in the desert or when you're out traveling and all that. That's a whole different story. Yes, Trainwreck. Do you have... Okay, Trainwreck 1993. Oh yeah, AJ, just going to jump in there quick. AJ Treg, sad to see the Sedins retire. Yes, that's sad. The whole city was upset about that, definitely. Trainwreck 1993 says, do you have a video surveillance system like Nomadic Fanatic has? Yeah, I didn't even know he has one. I've had one for the last 8 months. But I don't watch YouTube. I honestly don't watch anybody else's channels. So I try to subscribe to other people's channels to support, but I really generally don't sit around watching YouTube. Ironic, isn't it? So I have no idea what other people have. But I've had my security system for about 8-9 months now, maybe longer. And it's a 4-channel CCTV. It's recording 24 hours a day. And it's really funny that you mentioned that, because I already recorded a video on it and uploaded a video on it. Now, I've shown it briefly before, but I haven't really talked about it. But I recorded a video talking about it, and I uploaded it to YouTube 2 days ago. And it's viewable right now for my patrons only. It's not public for the rest of you yet. That's the treat my patrons, when you become my patron, you get to see videos sometimes days ahead before everyone on YouTube sees them. So if you want to go see it, and you're my patron already, go to my Patreon. The link is there. You can see the video about my camera system. The rest of you, just wait, and eventually I'll make it public here on YouTube. Well, it's a large. It's not even an extra large. Somebody said that's a huge coffee. Dwight Evans, hey, I started watching you 4 years ago. You've changed my life. Thinking of buying an RV and starting that lifestyle. Thank you, bro. Anytime, man. You know, if it's something you want to do, the life is short. At least try it. Don't wait. Don't sit around thinking you've got to do this and that before you do it. Just do it. I'm just going to say, just van it. That's my slogan. Like Nike. New t-shirt coming soon. By the way, I have lots of t-shirts coming next month. Hanging by the beach. Have you ever won on the roll up the rim besides coffee and donuts? Let's see what I got here. There is 2 winning ones right there. There's one of them right there. You probably can't see that, but there's a free coffee. Thank you, Tim Hortons. Oh, and there's a free donut. So, yeah, I won coffee and donuts, but nope, I didn't win the car or the cash or anything like that. I gotta remember to cash these in. I think they're only good till the 20th or something. I got 4 more days. Definitely. Nicholas, with all that money, time, and assets involved in your van home, it'd be great to ensure you can track it if it ever gets stolen. Then again, you're purple, hard to miss. First of all, RV thefts are very, very rare because most people don't know how to drive big vehicles, especially not a big purple van that they can be spotted from a mile away. I don't think most people in their RVs worry about the RV itself being stolen. It's more stuff inside when they're not home. And the idea of the camera system is for ICBC, for insurance purposes. If I ever had an accident, if someone rear ends me or T-bones me or whatever, I've got 4 cameras on all sides, always recording, day or night, with night vision, even if I'm not home. So if someone smashes into my van, even when I'm not home, or, for that matter, tries to break in, I've got it all. It's all on camera. Nicholas, they're stolen for the engine. It's not exactly something that I've ever heard of here. I mean, I'm sure it happens, but it wouldn't be... For that needle in a haystack possibility of something happening, I don't know. I don't think I'd worry so much about that. I'd be a lot more worried about someone breaking in to steal my TV and my computer and all that stuff. Jillian D, have you ever lived in sticks and bricks? Oh yeah, plenty of times. All the way up until I was 15 and a half. And some of my relationships over the years. I've had girlfriends where we've alternated. We'll spend a couple months living in my RV, and then we spent a couple months living in her place, and vice versa. Just most of last winter, I spent about 3 months living about 4 days a week in my girlfriend's place. So yeah, I'm in sticks and bricks all the time. But just again, I think that's no different than people that have relationships that live in an apartment. Sometimes they stay in the other apartment of their significant other. So. AJ Treg, have a good one. No problem. You're welcome. And thank you very much for that awesome comment. Yeah, you rock. Keep on rocking the free world. Ryan, what's my take on a road trek? It's just like a lot of other Class Bs. It's funny because my old Explorer, the wide body, extended and wide body, 21 foot, is basically the original road trek. The road trek 200 wide body is almost a direct copy of the Explorer. Explorer was the first Class B of that style, of all Class Bs. And now you've got Road Trek, Pleasureway, Leisure Travel, and all these other popular brands out there. The reason I didn't really gravitate towards Road Trek is I just found, I know they're decently well built, but I didn't find them, I found them very how to put this? I don't want to insult anyone who has a road trek because they're nice, but I found them very mass-produced. There are quite a few forums online where people talk about the Explorer, like the Explorers and Chinooks, very, very high qualities. And they have road trek owners in them now. These are the type of people that think they have to buy a new RV every 5 years, which again is the typical RV market. The older people who upgrade their RVs every few years, just like cars. I don't understand that. You can buy an RV and keep it the rest of your life if you want. I do it just for fun and it's a hobby to make things different. But they actually do it because they think it's old, they need new RVs. So there's these people that were on these road trek, or on these forums for Chinook and Explorer talking about how they used to have a Chinook or an Explorer. But now they have to. They're forced to get a road trek because Explorer and Chinook don't make RVs anymore. And they all say that the road trek is nice, but not nearly as nice as their Explorer and their Chinooks were. And so I've been in a lot of road treks. They're okay, but if I'm going to go out tomorrow and I'm going to buy a Class B, first of all, it'll be 90s to early 2000s. Definitely a Dodge, if I can get a Dodge, first choice. It'll be a wide body. It'll have probably the sunken floor, but it'll definitely be a wide body Dodge Ram Class B. Similar to this. This is a 90s Dodge Ram Class B. I would choose between leisure travel van, Pleasureway, and road trek. But out of those three, road trek would be last choice because they don't make a wide body Dodge road trek. You have to get the Chevy, and I'm not a big Chevy fan. The Dodges are the most common of all road treks on the road, definitely, but not wide body. Pleasureway and leisure travel made almost everything on Dodges, all their wide bodies, so they're everywhere. Well, as far as Class Bs go, if I'm going to go and find a Pleasureway right now on Craigslist for the south coast of BC and all the cities in the south coast, I will probably find 2 or 3 Pleasureways, and I guarantee you they'll all be Dodges, all from the late 90s, early 2000s. So there you go. Aaron says, does your van have an AC? No, it doesn't, and I don't need one. I had AC in my last two. I didn't. The last thing I'm going to do on a hot day is lock myself inside and close windows. It just seems so counterproductive to me. On a nice day, I want to have my doors and windows open. And I'm usually down at the beach or somewhere near the ocean. We're on the west coast, remember? So even when it's a hot summer day, you've got that ocean wind in your face. It's really nice. I don't like to lock myself inside. It does have AC on the dash from driving, but as far as sitting in the back goes, if the sun's out, it's summer, that means open everything up, turn on the fantastic fan, and get a spray bottle or something. That's the way I roll. Nicholas, I wish more people would learn to build their own. It's worth it, especially if money is an issue. Can be, but also a lot of these self-builds can cost as much or more than a factory Class B. I see people will spend 50 or 60 grand on an empty high roof, say Transit or Sprinter van, and then they'll spend sometimes tens of thousands of dollars to convert it properly, and they still don't even have a proper plumbing system, and they're using jugs under their sink, and it's just like, wow, how can you spend all that money and not have a regular tap that you can turn on water, or have a toilet, or have a shower? I mean, to each their own. You can spend your money on whatever you want, but I wouldn't do it. Nicholas, you're welcome. Have a great one. I'm gonna fuck, I can't believe the stream is still going. I better get off here because my data is gonna be through the roof, and my 1 hour free data is probably run over now. Canadians always win the big prizes at Tim Hortons. The scraps are left to the States. I had no idea they even ran Roll Up the Rim down south of the border as well. As far as I know, they're usually separate, though, prizes, just like McDonald's. McDonald's Monopoly is Canada only. And if you have Monopoly in the States, you have different prizes. It's different rules, different legal, everything's different. So I'm pretty sure you had different prizes down there. I might be wrong, but that's how every other big multinational corporation works, is each country that has a contest has their own legalities, their own rules, and their own prizes just for that country. I mean, for example, they're giving away a car with the Tim Hortons Roll Up the Rim. It's not going to be the Honda, whatever was it, a Honda Civic? They can't give it to you if you're in the States because it's a Canadian car. They have to give you a legal USA Honda Civic, I guess. You know, I don't know how that works, but... Aaron, I hope no one steals your sweet wood stove. Man, if somebody's that desperate for heat, I'll buy them a hot water bottle. Slow burn, are you going to name this RV? You're talking to me? I've had the name for months. Purple Haze. Grimace. Grimace is a little lighter purple. Mayhem RV, the likes on chats usually don't stream. There's usually, sometimes you'll have a chat with 1,000 subscribers, everyone's talking, but nobody clicks the like button. That's not how chat works. Generally, the likes come in over the next few weeks as people watch this video on replay. Same with YouTube videos, by the way. No, Blue, I wouldn't buy a Sprinter. It's not about... I don't like the look of them. I don't like the big, tall Euro vans. They look like big, oversized, top-heavy eggs. I don't know. I don't like them. I much prefer a North American chassis. I also don't like the small engines. And it's because of the US EPA CAFE requirements forcing the North American makers to cut down the engine sizes. I understand that. If I bought a new van today, which I wouldn't do because you guys know I don't like new stuff so much. But if I went to buy a brand new van, brand new, and I was going to build it myself, it would definitely be, even though I'm not a Chevy guy, it would be a Chevy Express or GMC Savannah. Same thing. And then I would have the roof chopped off. There's several companies that build the high tops for them still, and they're doing quite well. And I would definitely buy an Express and build it out. There's no question. I'll take that any day over a Sprinter or a Transit, and definitely an ugly stick ProMaster. Sky Wookie, Brad, I love your channel and your attitude towards firearms and freedom. I'll get up there to visit one day. Keep on rocking in the free world. That Wookie in North Carolina. What's up, North Carolina? You got an accent there, y'all? Y'all, I hear y'all have an accent there. I posted a boring YouTube video of a truck burning. It breaks down a hill. It's got over 100,000 views now. Ryan, Ryan, again, people want drama, right? You can make the most amazing RV and do a video and show how you built it from scratch. And it's the most amazing RV anyone's ever seen. And it'll get 1,000 views. But if you post a picture of someone's RV blowing up, it'll get 1,000,000 views and you'll get rich. People don't care about shit that's not other people's drama. It's so funny. Yeah, blue top heavy eggs. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the... I think a full-size van is supposed to look like it's a pickup truck. That's what the Dodge Ram is. It's the same as a pickup truck. It should be big, muscular, powerful. It's a truck. It's not, you know, it's not a golf cart. And I don't like the new vans because, yeah, some of them are getting big now, like a big Sprinter. But they still have tiny little hamster wheel engines in them. I'm not a fan. And I want North American engine. So if I had to buy one of those high top things or high roof of the new vans and not a Chevy, it would be a Ford Transit with the North American V6 engine in it. But I'd still like to shoehorn like a V8 or something like a Hemi in it or something, you know. A real van muscle. Go, the vans that race at the racetracks. Those are vans. Good luck seeing a Sprinter drag race at Mission Raceway. I mean, I'm sure someone's done it, but... Yeah, 426 Hemi, absolutely. I love big engines. Less tech, less problems, horsepower, torque, and can last you for decades. Like, I was looking at the Iveco Daily, which is an overseas, there was a rumor Ram was going to bring it over as another full-size van. And it was going to be even bigger than the ProMaster, dual wheels, la 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 la. Anyways, they're not, I don't think they're doing that anytime soon, but overseas, they're, they offer it as an electric version. And again, I believe the whole, I don't want the electric. That to me is the opposite of RV. The whole thing for me with an RV would mean get the hell off the grid. You can get away from any electrical plug, go out to the woods, camp there for a month. You shouldn't have to worry about charging your drivetrain and relying on weather. If you had a lot of solar panels to try to charge it, you can't be parked in the woods in the shade, or let's say you want to move at night, your battery's dead. There's just so many negativity. There's so many negatives to that whole idea of electric, is that you're not in control anymore and you're captive to either finding a way to charge or finding an electrical plug. But they've released this van, and it's electric, and you get like 150 or 200 kilometer range or something like that. But you go into the details and you read the specs. The batteries are only rated to last about 7 years. My grandpa's old Dodge Ram pickup truck, he took care of it, he babied it, he rebuilt things here and there, but it lasted 6 decades. You're never going to find one of these new electric hunks of junk rolling plastic laptop cars. Like, you're never going to find one on the road in 60 years. They're all going to be in the junkyard. All this new stuff has an expiry date, and they want you to just buy a new car every 3 or 5 years. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is now. But back in the day, people would buy a vehicle for life, or at least for decades. Yeah, I don't want a Tesla RV. No, thank you. I want an engine where I can carry a gas can and use it to move whenever I want. Not when I'm near a plug. Not when I have to get 10 billion solar panels and find a clearing and wait for a sunny day to charge my car if I don't have a plug. I want to be able to go now or later and be on my own terms. And man, there are stories of people with Teslas too. They simply don't drive their cars for weeks. They're just sitting in the garages and the batteries start to go down. Even if you don't use them, you're slowly draining the batteries. I think when a vehicle is running, it should be generating power, not draining power. So it's not my thing. Yes, hunk of junk. You know what? They have a use. Electric cars can be good for commuter cars for the city and all that. But to me, they're the opposite of off the grid, by definition. They're making sure you're stuck on the grid. Yeah, we tree bonsai, all electric with slide outs. Oh God, can you imagine? You couldn't move your house because your battery's dead. You're in the woods, and there's no plug-in anywhere. You might have a massive solar system on a trailer that you park behind you with enough power to charge your RV. It might take a week to charge it with all those solar panels, but now you have to find a way to get sunlight on those panels, and it's the middle of winter or whatever. Like, there's just so many variables, and you're really, really stuck. And to me, that's just a horrid thought. A friend of mine I follow on Twitter, she got an electric Leaf, the Nissan Leaf, and she was going to Whistler, which is only a couple hours from Vancouver, and on her dashboard it said that she had enough range to get to where she was going to Whistler. Well, she got stuck halfway up one of the mountain passes. That range estimator doesn't take into account elevation climbs and things like that. What can she do? She can't just pop the trunk, grab the gas can and put it in and get to the next town or the next gas station. But she can't even call CAA to bring gas for her. She has to get towed. There's no solution to that. Up north of 60. What's up, buddy? What you doing way up? Is it snowing where you are? There are people down south in the States, in all sorts of states right now, getting covered in snow. And I got nothing but rain. It's pretty gross out, but it's just rain. And it's not cold, and we don't have to shovel anything. Michigander. I guess you're in Michigan. Keep on rocking the free world. PNW survival, propane. Time to start the flame. Hell yeah. Jim Leahy, man. Rest in peace, brother. Trailer Park Boys Season 12 is on right now. Sky Wookie. Sick. It's Sick Wookie. Sorry, that's an easy thing to see. If you look at your name, it just looks like Sky Wookie right off the bat. A little dyslexia there. Sorry. Thanks for being sick, Wookie. Tennessee. Loading name. That's a good name, too. Cool. Well, my data is probably through the roof now, so I'm going to go. But before I do, I'm going to try to grab my phone here without interrupting the feed, hopefully, and just take you outside, and you can see, for all of you that are still here, where I am. I am actually in the same parking lot where we held the CamperCon last summer, and we'll do it again this year. At that point, it will be really hot and sunny, and we'll have barbecues out, and you'll see nothing but RVs and camper vans all the way along here. So live from Spanish Banks in Vancouver, I want to wish you all a very happy Monday. Keep on working in the free world, and I live in this van because it's fucking rad.